We're at Blaze Power Sports and Outdoors in Tucson, Louisiana. I'm about to do a demonstration on how to change the oil in a 3050C model and a 125 model. Basically, the one's a 110, the other's a 125cc, and what I tell you applies to most of them. The only difference is how much oil you'll put in them. First off, on the bottom of the engine, if you look, the drain plug is this one here. It's a 17 millimeter. Okay, this is a 17 millimeter socket with a ratchet. See, you got two plugs here. It's the bigger plug of the two, 17 millimeter, and it usually sits under the starter and on the same side as the dipstick, as you see here. So what you're going to need is a 17 millimeter socket like so, a ratchet wrench, a towel, oil funnel. Now this is a transmission funnel. You can get this at any kind of auto parts store, maybe Walmart. They're real cheap, inexpensive, but it makes it a lot easier to get the oil in. You'll need a drill cans down here to drop the oil into. I use a jack stand. If you don't jack it, you may not get as much oil out, so just be aware of that. I'm trying to get the maximum amount of oil out. And you're going to need your oil. We use 1540 for the smaller engines down here in the south, but you can use 1030 or 1040. Just go along with what the manufacturer suggests. So the first thing I'm going to do is jack up each bike with a jack stand, and I get at the midway point here, the frame area. So when I pick up, I position my jack stand as close as I can there. I pick up on the frame and not the rack. Bring it back here and drop it here. I'm also going to do the chains in these in a short while, so I like to do everything in sequence to save time. Here again, I'm going to put the 110cc up on my jack stand. As you can see, I'm also charging the batteries at the same time because I like to get a lot of things done at one time. You don't have to have it this high. I'm just making it easier on my back to work. Now, I forgot to tell you, you need to lock the brakes before you do this, so they don't roll out on you. So you'll lock the front brakes up. In the first video, I'm just going to show you the oil change. Then the next, I'm doing the chain adjusters. Remember, left to loosey, right to tidy. Okay? Check how I'm doing the wrench. It's making the socket go left. That's what I want. This will make it go right. So to loosen it, left to loosey. Okay. Now I'm getting under each bike in position with grip bands to capture the oil. Sometimes it may be a little tight, so you may have to kind of tap it with a hammer or something. And let me just try. Nope, don't have to. So a little pressure. I have my rag in hand. Here comes the oil. Okay, while that one's draining on the 110cc, I'm going to go to the 125 and do that one. Position my drain pan under here. Same thing. On the 125, you may have to turn the ratchet toward the inside because of the position of the pipes. There it comes. Okay, here comes the oil. I take my rag and I wipe off my drain plugs. They're both the same size drain plug. They're both 17 millimeters, and that's going to apply to most of the vehicles we sell. I can see they're still draining the oil right now, so what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and pull out my dipstick. On the 110 models, on this particular one, just come from behind is the easiest way to access the dipstick. I'm gonna wipe it. Now I know these are new bikes, but if they were in for servicing after age, I would have actually checked the oil first on the dipstick to see if there was burnt. Check the smell, see if anything's burning, a sweet smell or anything like that. I would have checked to see how much it is, but I already know these bikes well. They just came in to get them serviced after the first break-in period. So I'll position my dipstick somewhere on the bike so it won't get misplaced. Do the same thing to the other one. This on the 125 model, it's a little bit, you can get it from the front side fairly easy around the brake, the foot brake lever here. Just checking for the smell. Also looked with my finger. It's good. I'm just going to position it here. Now the oil is just about through draining out of the small 110. So I'm going to come back. Still draining a little bit more, but I'm going to get everything else ready. Okay, now on the little 110s, what I usually do when I'm doing the chains and all, I will put in a half a quart. After I drop the bike, I'll go back and check it after it runs a little while and check the level on the dipstick to see if I need to go up. When I drain it like this, I may have to put a little bit more than a half a quart, but the oil's supposed to be within this round ring here somewhere. This is full. If it's anything like this here, bring it up to where at least somewhere in this region here. Same thing on the 125. As a given, it's going to be approximately a half a quart on the 110cc. On the 125, as a given, it's 8/10 of a quart. Very simple to figure out. Get your quart of oil, Walmart, 1,000 cc's, okay? A half a quart is 500 cc's. So you pour in a half a quart till you get to 500. That leaves you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A half a quart, 500 cc's this way, 500 that way. On this one, on the 125, it's 8/10 of a quart. That means it's 800 cc's. So that will leave you 200 cc's in the quart. It's not rocket science. Real simple. They make it easy for you. Now the drain plug is through draining, so now I'm going to put the drain plug back in on the 110cc. Remember, right to tighty, so you change this to go right to tighten it up. Make sure it's wipe free. Do not over tighten these, only snug them. Take your rag and wipe over the port where you're going to screw it in at to get any kind of contaminants out of the way. Screw it in gently to get it started. Tighten by hand until you get to the very end. Take your wrench, put a light snug on it. Don't over tighten because they're easy to strip. Okay, that's snug. Later you can always come back and check for leaks if you think you didn't tighten up enough and put a little bit more snug on it. Same thing with this one. Wipe the area free on your engine. Take your drain plug, screw it back in by hand until it gets to the top. Take your wrench, your socket wrench, right to tidy, snug it up. Okay, now I'm going to put the oil in. Remember, on the little 110cc's, approximately a half a quart to start, and then you go back and top it and check it after you drop it. Check your bottle first to see how much you got in there. It's 1,000 cc's, so I'm shooting for 500. See, you can see the line. We're almost at 650 now. I've dropped it down to 650. I need to drop it down all the way to 500 at least. It's right there on it. Okay. I'll put this one aside for now. Now come over here and do this one. This one here is going to take the 125s, 800 cc's, so I need to shoot to get all the way down to the 200 mark on it. Access the dipstick from the side over here to put the oil in, whereas on the 110s you go from the back side. Again, this funnel and the tube, it's a transmission funnel. You can get at auto parts stores anywhere. Real common, real cheap, and it makes your life a lot easier in trying to struggle to get the oil in the little funnel down there. If you don't jack up the bites on a jack stand, you just do them flat, you may not get as much oil out and you may not have to put as much in, so make sure you check your dipstick, okay? Okay, that's about where I want to be. What I do now, remove this, have it set aside with a rag up underneath. I'm going to move my drain pans, get them out the way because I'm going to actually drop the vehicle and check the oil here. As you can see, this oil, that's black. It needs to be changed. This one here is not so bad, but it doesn't look like you even put anywhere near enough in there. Customers will tell you, oh, I changed the oil, I put all I have to. No, usually they don't do it right. You tell them, they still don't listen. Now what I'm going to do is drop the vehicles off the jack stand. I'm going to let that one sit a second. I got the oil on the floor, I'm going to clean it up later. Usually I'd be doing this outside, but it's raining and stormy today. I'm going to disconnect the brake from this one. I mean, release the parking brake. I'm picking up on the frame, not the rack. It might look like I'm picking up on the rack, but I'm not. Okay. Come back here, I'll check my oil here. To check the oil, you screw the dipstick all the way in to get the accurate reading. Okay. I'm going to check it again and make sure. I may have to add a little bit to this one because I've really got it all out. Okay. As you can see, it's just a little bit low. That's because I drained it all the way out. If you have it flat, normally a half a quart will do it. So I'm going to add about a tenth of a quart in this one.
You only have 4 minutes left.
Okay, y'all have the general idea of it now, so just do what I'm saying. You know, just always check your dipstick afterwards. Okay, any questions, just email me through our website.